Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video we're going to have a look at the stats you want to look for in the 3 Essence facility. So here I'm showing you guys which stats can appear in the first stat that's not core and on the second stat that's not core. And what I mean by that, let's just head over to the 3 Essence facility so that I can show you. Let's take like this node for example, one of my best ones probably. And the first row, the first attribute, the first stat is the core one, and it's fixed. It cannot change. Like you can change the ranking, but you cannot change. Like this node will always have evasion as the core stat. You cannot change that. What you can change are the other two stats. And the first one is the one that I called here stat 1, and the second one is stat 2. So stat 1 and stat 2 have most of the stats that are similar, like the first 8, which are also corresponding to the 8 nodes. So the first 3 are HP flat, attack flat, defense flat. Then we have accuracy, evasion. Then we have HP percentage, attack percentage, and defense percentage. Those stats can also appear in these additional ones, and they can appear in both. But then we have 3 stats that are slightly different. In the first slot, you can get crit rate, magic resist, or lifesteal. In the second one, you can get crit damage, physical resist, or swiftness. And if you're wondering where I got these stats, if you were not aware already, they are here. If you click on rates and you go to additional tab, you will see stat 1, and like stat 1, you will see there is crit rate, magic resist, and lifesteal. And then for stat 2, if we go below, there is crit damage, physical resist, and swiftness. So now that that's out of the way, I just wanted to mention that I prepared this little table here with some of the stats I prioritize. Again, just take all of these with a grain of salt because things might change in the future, especially with accuracy and evasion. So we might change priority over the course of the game. Like we don't know how many times we will have to change these stats. But what I want to say is that probably the most stable ones are going to be crit rate, swiftness, crit damage, and the 2 resistances, I would say. They are always going to be valuable, in my opinion. While accuracy and evasion, we're already seeing it. They are making a lot of changes to them. So we might reach a point where we don't actually need to have that many nodes with accuracy and evasion either. So I cannot say for sure just go all in on accuracy and evasion and you'll be set. We don't know. Things might change. So yeah. Another thing I want to mention about evasion is that that stat is a bit tricky. I have to test it a bit more, and I will also make a video on it as soon as I figure it out. Is that if you have more accuracy than the enemy evasion, you're basically hitting all the time. And if you have more evasion than the enemy accuracy, you are not going to dodge all the time, obviously. And the enemy is still going to hit you quite often. I want to check just how high your evasion needs to be to reach a close to 0 amount of hits received. I don't know if I can really test it because in the arena simulation everyone has 10 accuracy and 10 evasion. So it seems like no one is dodging. I also have to check that. Or you dodge some time. I have no idea how that formula is actually working, guys. And I don't know if it's possible to figure out, to be honest. But from my experience and from what it seems to me, as soon as you have like 5, 10 accuracy more than the enemy evasion, you will never miss. And when you have even 200 evasion more than the enemy, they will still hit you. I cannot say for sure the percentage of times they will hit you, but I would say probably they will miss half of the times, maybe maybe more. I don't know. Maybe they will hit you 25% of the times. I don't know. But still, it will happen. So I'm not sure how valuable evasion is, and I don't know if there are diminishing returns, if you really need to have a lot more evasion than the enemy accuracy. I have no idea whatsoever. I can probably test it in adventure mode if I just use the enemy evasion as a reference since they all have the same evasion, and I then change the accuracy of my units, but I don't know, it's going to be difficult. If I figure it out, I will let you know. But what I want to say with this is that evasion is one of those stats where either you have more of it than the enemy or they're going to eat you. So if you have some nodes here and there and your total evasion is, I don't know, 580 and the enemy accuracy is 590, basically they are going to eat you all the time, and all the nodes you have with evasion will basically be worthless. So to me, evasion is important only if you can go above the enemy accuracy. If you can't, then you're just better off rolling out, like re-rolling them and getting some different stats. That's what I think, but again, I'm not sure at this moment. I will let you guys know. So especially the position here in priority of these evasion nodes is really to be evaluated, especially for the int units, the one based on intelligence, so supports and mages, because they have low evasion by default, and you either go all in on this stat or it's basically useless. So you might be better off just focusing on some accuracy because they again have higher accuracy than the other classes, and just get swiftness, crit rate whenever you can, and you'll be better off probably. So yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to mention here for accuracy and evasion. Then obviously dexterity-based units will have higher evasion than normal, so probably here you don't need as much investment to start dodging. But again, I don't know exactly how it works. So this ranking of evasion is really uncertain to me, and take it definitely with a grain of salt. Yeah, so these basically are the stats you want to look for in your nodes. I would say once you get an IB in any of these, you can stop rerolling and just move on to a different node until you have no better option, I would say. So like in this case, I have a maxed out accuracy for the strength for stat 1, which was my best, like my prior one, so I'm really happy about it. And then for the second one, I have a close to max for physical resist, which is my third best option. But as we already have accuracy here, is actually the second best option because I cannot get another accuracy in here. So the only thing that would be better than this would be swiftness, and I don't really care. I mean, I already have a nearly maxed out second important stat, let's say. So to me, I will keep it, I will never change it. And this node will probably stay like this forever, unless I decide to try and roll a little bit for a higher evasion, but that would be stupid at this point in time. Then if we look at a different node here, I have again another close to max physical resistance stat, which in this case is the third most important because I don't have accuracy. Well, no, okay, sorry. I said something wrong because accuracy here is the core stat, so physical resistance is still the second best. And yeah, not going to roll it out for swiftness. Then here I have evasion. Evasion is not that important, but strength units have like the hard, and that guy has some use in his kit for evasion, so it's not too bad, and I'm not going to roll it because it's not a low one like a 10 or 11, it's a 15, so I will probably keep it, or at least reroll it after the other ones are done. Here guys, I'm just trying to try and reason with you so that you can understand where I'm coming from. And yeah, that's basically the purpose of this. Now here, if you looked here, I had the lock for the defense stat. Never do that because you never want any of the flat stats. Here, whether it is 100 or 1, you don't care because it's the same. These flat stats are not going to scale with the Shinsu links, so they are worthless. Whether it's 1 or 100 is totally the same and it won't matter. So locking them, unless obviously it's your first wheel and you are unlocking the second, locking those stats is really useless. Like here, I have a 377 attack. Even if I had it maxed, I wouldn't care in the least. It's just a useless stat. So yeah, again here, lifesteal in the first one is my lowest priority because the units that can benefit from it will get it from the Bergamot set, most likely, or just have it in the exclusive equipment like also Oakin. And Oakin is also running the Bergamot set. So lifesteal is really not important. But still, it was an A, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Keep it. It's fine. So for the strength units that are running Bergamot most of the times, I would say lifesteal is really the least of your priorities. There are also tanks in here, and tanks could use it because you don't always run them, like you don't run them with Bergamot most of the time, so you could have some use out of it, but again, tanks don't deal that much damage. They won't be able to recover as much HP from it. So again, kind of useless. I might as well just say, fuck it, let's reroll it. I don't care. Swiftness, kind of important. I would say you should keep anything that's above 2. It's already good, but yeah, we could always aim for more. Here we have accuracy, that was my first priority. It's kind of low, I will probably reroll it. Evasion is also kind of low, so I will reroll it as well. Hopefully get swiftness, because I don't think I have many nodes with swiftness. Alright, here I have a nearly maxed crit hit rate, quite good. This is my third priority, so I'm really happy with it. And I also have accuracy in the second node, so yeah. In general here, there are not many nodes that I want to reroll. This one though is one of them. I don't really care too much about the 1.54% of attack. Evasion could be a little bit more important for me because here I have quite a lot of evasion. I have 108 evasion in wheel 1 and 119 in wheel 2. As you can see, I went basically all in both of them. So my fighter units can actually dodge hits, which comes in handy, but again is not too reliable. So let's have a look, for example, the hard. This guy has 673 accuracy and 656 evasion. Overall, good numbers, but yeah, I would probably rather have more swiftness and I don't know. Probably in this case, even more crit damage. Why I have that high amount of crit rate? Okay. I probably gave him a crit rate piece. Yeah, okay. Just the spare one I had. Okay, fine. But yeah, I hope you guys kind of understood the logic or my reasoning behind the rerolls and the stats, and I hope that this table can provide you some value. But unfortunately, other than say that you want these 5 stats and pretty much to give you guys some sort of order, I don't really know what else to say because it will really depend on a lot of different, I don't know, variables. Like you you really want accuracy if you don't have enough to be above the enemy evasion by at the very least, I would say 10, 20 to 30 so that you can be safe for at least 2 floors, 2 entire floors, I would say. Your evasion, if you cannot go above the enemy accuracy, again, is basically worthless. You could just change it, swap it out for something else. You want as much swiftness as possible. You want as much crit rate as possible because you know all three of these attributes. Let's call them that. There is also one or more than one DPS category. Like for the int, you have mages. For dex, you have both assassins and ranged. And for strength, you have the fighters. So all of them will want offensive stats, and offensive stats are the ones you should look for. If you also have a lot of close range units, you should go for magic resist and physical resist as well. Those are really important stats. So for dexterity users, that's the least important because almost all of them either can dodge or have some sort of other reductions, like Quran has a 90% reduction. Kiseiya, you don't really care if she survived that much, she just needs to kill a couple of units. They have some different use cases. Then you have a lot of ranged units that are not going to get hit that much. So they have different priorities. But overall, I would say this table is a good rule of thumb I would follow. If you have different recommendations, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I will take your opinions into account for sure. Because again, this is not set in stone. I'm not 100% sure this is the right way to go. It's just to give you guys, or like the less experienced guys, uh, some insight in this system, I would say. So if you are already far into the game, if you already know what you're looking for, great. If you don't, you can just follow this table and it will be at least a bit helpful. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you guys for watching. Again, I hope it was helpful. If it was, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!